Situational depression is a point where you are feeling depressed and due to the negative events of that are happening in your life. Like as I said, you maybe lose a loved one, maybe you are going through childhood trauma, you had an experience as a child that you cannot forget, or maybe you are neglected as a person, or poverty or violence at home. All these issues just put you at risk of getting depression, but we cannot say that they can particularly cause depression. They just put you at especially if you do not handle them well, don't come out and talk about these particular issues. There is also something that is called biological depression. Now, when we talk about the causes of depression, this is when the biological depression comes in. By biological depression, I'm talking about the structure of your brain or the chemicals in your brain, because a person who is facing depression, their brain structure is not the same as a person who is not facing depression. Brain chemicals, we talk about issues like an imbalance in neurotransmitters, for example, serotonin, or an imbalance of hormones, for example, estrogen. That's why for women, when they go through those stages that they go through, the depression sets in because the hormones are imbalanced and also the neurotransmitters are what? Are also imbalanced. There's also an issue of genetics whereby it's very, very highly possible that if your family tree or someone in your family was suffering from depression, or maybe your mother, or maybe your father, or maybe your grand or great grand, if they were suffering from depression, it's very likely for you to also get depression as a person. Now, this depression might not even be caused by anything, but just because the hormones within in your brain just do not balance properly, and it can easily cause you to do what? To get depression. Then there is also life changes, for example, puberty, all these things that happen in women and men's life. Now, for a man, when they are going through puberty, it's like a joy for them. Because for a man, when they develop that huge body or that muscular body, they'll feel proud of having it. But for a woman, it's completely different. From childhood to adolescence, it's a very, very hard stage to be in, and it easily causes depression. Same as from adolescence to adulthood. For young women, it's very hard for them to contain or to keep up with what they are going through. Then there is something that is called existential depression. This is triggered by a positive event happening in your life. For example, you might have wanted to be a doctor all your life, and after studying everything, you've done your biology, you've done your, do they do 5 or 7 years? I don't know. You've studied all those years that you have to, and you've graduated, you've become a doctor, and immediately you reach that particular goal in your life. You just don't know what you are supposed to do next. You just feel overwhelmed. You just feel like, what's next after this? You just don't even see it. You just don't see the connection. You just feel like life is hopeless now at that particular point. Life is worthless at that particular point. Mothers who something that's called postpartum depression, whereby mothers who give birth and after a while they get into depression. This can also be a cause or a risk factor in depression. Then there is also something that is called psychological depression. Now, this is about the way you think or anything that is happening within your mind. we can we can um, we can talk about issues like unrealistic expectations. For example, someone who goes into a relationship with very very unrealistic expectation, then it eventually just ends and they feel like they are just feel so low at that particular point. If everything they had hoped for is no longer standing, or everything that they wanted is no longer moving on, then loss of perspective. There's also negative self-talks. There is dysfunctional relationship. All these stand in psychological depression. Now we are also going to discuss about the types of depression. I just want us to have a clear understanding about what depression is all about, or what someone faced with depression is going through, or maybe the different kinds of things that can be done, or at what point do you notice that this particular person is having depression, or you yourself you are having depression. So we are going to discuss also about the types of depression, and these vary from person to person because there are so many, but we can just discuss about a few common types of depression. The very first one is the major depression, major depressive disorder that we had already talked about. Under this major depressive disorder, you find that you are feeling depressed most of the days, and it can go on for over a week, for over 2 weeks of feeling just down, of feeling so low, of feeling like you lost interest in things that you used to love to do, of loss of sleep or interest in sleeping, of restlessness, of feeling so tired, suicidal thoughts coming, weight loss, and all the other cognitive symptoms that you had talked about earlier. Now, at this point, it's very important for someone to come out, or someone to realize that someone is suffering and offer them help. By help, I mean take them to a doctor or a psychotherapist who they can talk to. At this point in depression, depression is an illness. I'm going to emphasize this over and over again because depression is an illness. It's not something that is broken that can be fixed. So, not every single person can help someone who is going through depression. Not every single person can come out and maybe be like, yes, I'm going to talk to you. I remember I was having this conversation with a particular friend, and um, he told me that it's very easy for someone to come out and tell you every single thing that they are facing. But if you are not the right person that they are reaching out to, it's going to be very hard for them to heal, or it's going to be very hard for them to maybe to come out and talk about these issues with a different person. So we should always mind the information that is given to a person who is depressed. At this point, it's very important for you to seek out for psychotherapy or to get antidepressants or medication. This is when you are first diagnosed with depression. And medicine that can work for me, it's not very likely that it will work for you because the chemicals in our brains are very different. What is too much for me might be too little for you. So at this point, it's always a trial and error. If this antidepressant doesn't work on you, maybe they can get you a different kind, or maybe we can get antidepressants and psychotherapy at the same time. So at this point, it's not just um, talking to someone out of it, or telling someone snap out of it, or telling someone that you are strong enough to conquer this. No, it's very important for this person to go out to a qualified counselor, to a qualified psychotherapist, to a qualified doctor, for them to be diagnosed with depression, and for them to get the particular help that they need to feel better, or to be their normal selves again. Excuse me. Then there is something that is called persistent depressive disorder. This is depression that goes beyond 2 years. Now, depression can be on and off for particular people. It can manifest in someone for over 10 years, but for persistent depressive disorder, you get to find that it comes in a particular period of time. You get to lose your sleep, or you feel fatigued, or you have trouble concentrating, or you lose your self esteem, and this can go on for over and over and over 2 years of unless you seek out for help. It's very important also at this point, if you have something like this, to reach out to a psychotherapist or to go and get medication, or both, because some of them just work hand in hand. Medication and psychotherapy. A person suffering from depression, any kind of depression, it's very important for you to reach out to a psychotherapist. A psychotherapist, because these are people who are qualified to understand what you are going through. These are people who are qualified to tell you the particular words you might want to hear, or the particular information that is supposed to be given to you, or to tell you what you are supposed to do when you are suffering with depression. Depression is an illness just like any other illness. It needs 100% of the attention that it should be given. Then there is something that is called bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder, you find that this is also called manic depression. You find that someone is too happy, is in their manic stage. They are too happy, too high, too excited at a particular time, at a particular point in time. They are very, very happy. They are just okay. Then some minutes just pass by and they are back to feeling low, to feeling sad, to feeling depressed. There is nothing like normal for them. It's either too much or too little. Even when nothing is setting it, or when nothing has happened for them to feel like that, they can just feel too excited, and then too low. There is nothing like normal for them. It's either too much or too little. And this happens in phases. Today she might feel too happy, then tomorrow she might feel too sad. Or even not the next day, the same exact day after a particular period of time. Might feel too happy, then too sad, or too sad to too happy. Find that this person during sleeping hours, she is very hyper, she is too touchy in the sky. Yes, so this happens with people suffering from bipolar disorder, or it's also called manic depression. And at this point, it's very important for you to still get psychotherapy or to get medication. Then there is something that is called seasonal affective disorder. At this stage, this kind of depression comes up when particular changes in the season. For example, winter or sunshine or rain. This person might be happy in the rainy season and very sad in the sunshine season, or the other way around. So it happens for particular people, and if someone sees you, they can be like, ono mwana yekoza, or ono mwana alimu ebintu bye, or things like that. But in particular, this particular person is facing a disorder that is affecting them and affecting their normal lives. So at this point, it's very important for you to, okay, you might not really get psychotherapy, but you should look for medication that works for you. Antidepressants are there, and they are there in different forms. Not a particular antidepressant that works on me might not work on you particularly. Then there is a depression that's called psychotic depression. This has the symptoms of major depression, but also symptoms of psychotic symptoms. For example, hallucination. You get to see someone is seeing or hearing things that do not even exist. You get to see someone is having delusions, or they are having false beliefs. and this is affecting them as people, or you get to see someone is just believing in something that cannot even happen at all. You get to see someone suffering from paranoia. They believe that someone wants to harm them, or believe that they are seeing someone who wants to kill them, or they believe that they are facing a particular issue that is leading them to maybe someone killing them. We get to see so many issues like this on TV, on the news, whereby someone comes out and they're saying, nalabye omuntu nga ŋŋambye mbatte, namulabye bulabi. And they think that this person is mad, but in reality, they might be actually facing this particular psychotic disorder. Now, at this point, it's very important for you to get medication, maybe antipsychotic medication or antidepressant, or there is something that they call electroconvulsive. There is also a depression type that is called peripartum or postpartum depression just after times after giving birth. It might be days, hours, months, weeks, but it always kicks in for young women, and also for men. Some of them also experience this type of depression because they are becoming maybe new fathers, or they are already fathers and they are not ready to move on with the risks that come or with the responsibilities that come with having a child. That may one of them experience this particular kind of depression. Yes, at this point, it's very important for you to still get antidepressants or to talk to a psychotherapist. Then there is also depression that's called premenstrual dysphoric disorder, the one we had talked about earlier, and also situational depression that comes about due to trouble managing a stressful event that is happening, or a relationship breakup or a divorce, or anything that comes about that really just disrupts dysfunctional relationship. Then you get to talk to someone and you help psychotherapist if you are diagnosed with this particular kind of depression. It's very important for you to reach out and get the help that you need. So, what should be done for going through depression, or someone that is suffering with depression? What should you do, or what is done? I'm going to talk about three groups of people: someone who has depression, a loved one who is living with someone with depression, or just you as a person and you are trying to control yourself from feeling depressed. So the first one is someone having depression. What are you supposed to do? First and foremost, you should know that depression is the enemy, not any other person around you or any other feeling. You obviously get bad feelings, but bad feelings always come and they do not make you a bad person. So it is very important for you to come out and reach out and get help. At Topowa Youth Mentoring Uganda, we are saying that yes, we are able to render help with people who are feeling depressed and who are feeling down or suffering from these particular kinds of depression. So it's very important for a person suffering from depression to come out and look for psychotherapy. By psychotherapy, I don't mean that you go out and maybe just look for someone you trust and talk to them. No. Psychotherapy involves a qualified counselor, a qualified therapist, a qualified social worker who is ready to understand things that you are going through, who is ready to listen to you because they have the particular skills that can help you get better as a person. when you are told to go for psychotherapy, you should really emphasize that it should be a qualified doctor. And this should be after you are diagnosed. You should go for medication, go to a doctor, talk to this particular doctor if you don't maybe have any psychotherapy connections that you know. You should go to a hospital, talk to a doctor. A doctor will diagnose you of depression and will give you a particular therapist to reach out to. There is also medication that is given to people with depression, and these are called antidepressants that I had talked about. But if I've been depression and I got particular medicine, I cannot come out and tell you a particular person who is facing depression. I cannot come out and tell you that yes, you know what, maybe maybe you should do it. You should get these particular kinds of medicine because this is what worked for me. What worked for me does not necessarily mean that it will also work for you. It's very, very different because um, my brain chemicals might not be the same as yours. That's why it's very important for you to go for a checkup and for you to be diagnosed before coming out and talking about depression. Yes, so it's medication can be given, medication is always available, medication is always there, and sometimes it goes hand in hand with psychotherapy. But when these two do not work at any one point, excuse me, when these two do not work at any particular point in time, maybe psychotherapy is not working for you because there are people who these things just do not work for them. Psychotherapy is not working for you, and antidepressants are also not working for you. Both of them hand in hand, they don't work for you. There is something that is called electroconvulsive therapy. Here they use electric pulses that they put onto your brain. Then there is also something that's called transcranial magnetic stimulation. Here they use something to your brain. Then there is something that is called vagus nerve stimulation. An unimplanted device is put into your brain. And all these are designed, these three particular things that I've talked about, they are your brain. They stimulate areas of brain activity and they help the parts of your brain that control your moods to work better, to feel better, to act better for a particular period of time that they can that they might be going through. So that's for particularly for someone who is going through depression, and that's what they can do. But the first step is going for a checkup and being diagnosed with depression, because depression is an illness. It's not something that is broken that can be just put back together. It's an illness that needs particular kinds of therapy or medication for it to work very well. Now, how do you deal with depression? A person who is living with someone suffering from depression, or you might have a loved one who is struggling with depression, or you might have a sister, a family member, or anyone you know that is really suffering from depression or has been diagnosed with depression. What particular things are you supposed to do to these particular people? Because these people, they are very fragile and they're like babies and they need to be handled with very great care, because at any one point anything can happen to them. So what things are you supposed to do for them? What are you supposed to say to them? What are you supposed to, the first thing is to listen to them. It's very, very hard for someone to come out and talk to you and tell you maybe what they are going through, especially when they are sad and especially when they are men. It's very, very hard for them to come out and tell you that, you know what, this and this is happening. So if this particular person comes up and tells you that, you know what, I'm struggling with depression, I'm struggling with this and this and this, the best thing or the first thing you should do is to listen to them. And by listening to them, I just don't mean you being an absent listener or just listening to them talk. No, you should invest your time, invest your concentration, and actively listen to what this person is trying to tell you. If it's possible, you can ask questions. You can ask them, how do you feel? How is it going? How are you taking this and this and this? Because if if they come out, they love talking about, they love being detailed. So asking them questions helps them be more detailed. Then you should validate their feelings, and you should know that yes, they are feeling this particular way, and you shouldn't compare it to any other thing that maybe you have felt before, because you don't know what they are going through, and you don't even have the right of saying that yes, my father has also gone through this and this and this, he did this and this. No, just validate what they are going through, understand what they are going through, and be present in the conversation that you guys are trying to have. And also show empathy. It's very important for you to put yourself in their shoes and understand what they are trying to feel. So it's very important for you to listen to them and actively listen to them. Then help them find support. Sometimes it can be very frustrating for someone who is depressed, excuse me, for someone who is depressed to come out and say that, yes, you know what, I need help or I need to talk to someone. Because depression has been, there is a lot of stigma surrounding depression, and there is a lot of, um, I don't know how to call it, but people don't feel as comfortable as reaching out for help as any kind of disease that them, illness or disease that them might be having. But with depression, as a friend, it's very important for you to help someone find support, because you cannot do it alone. You need someone who is qualified and who knows this particular information that they can give this particular person at what particular point in time and when they should be getting this information. It's also important for you to support them in continuing therapy. If you know that they started therapy, as I told you, that they easily lose interest or they easily get, their mood normally runs low, and it's very easy for them to miss out on a therapy session that was scheduled. Maybe if it's scheduled tomorrow, you should always reach out to them and remind them that, you know what, tomorrow we have therapy. How do you feel about it? Or how are you going to move? Or maybe can we go together? Or things like that. Yeah, so it's very important for you to continue supporting them or support them with continuing therapy. If they were given medication, it's very important for you to help to remind them that you're supposed to be taking your medication, or maybe let's video call and I see you taking your medication, because at the end of the day, all they want to do is to feel like someone is caring for them, someone is there, and someone is available for what they are going through. Someone is there for them. Someone, because depression can make you feel like you are alone and you are. But if there is someone who can, maybe a friend or a loved one, who continuously reminds you that yes, I'm here for you. I'm not going to let you go. You are not going to go through this alone. I love you. I care for you. I do what for you. And this can make them feel stronger so that they can easily fight the battle against depression. Now, it's also very important for you to take care of yourself as a human being, because depression, taking care of someone who is depressed can be really frustrating. And if you're not so patient, you can really give up, or you can feel very disgusted with someone who is suffering from depression. But at the end of the day, it's important for you to take care of yourself, set boundaries with them, practice self care as a person, and yeah, just be present for them, but also set your boundaries. Know that yes, maybe I can do this and this for you, but this I cannot do. Yes. So it's also important for you to learn about depression. That's why with Topowa Youth Mentoring Uganda, we are coming out to give you information that is mental health. So that creating awareness about mental health helps us to break the barriers against depression, helps us understand about these mental health challenges, and helps us know what to expect. But it's also important for you as a person to learn about depression so that you can understand more what is going through in this particular person's life, what are they experiencing, how are they at this particular point, what should I expect, or what surprises shouldn't go unnoticed. So it's very important for you to understand more about depression, to learn about it, to know about it, so that even when you're talking to this particular person, you can talk about it with an informed, from an informed view or from an informed point. Then it's also very important for you to offer them help with daily tasks. Now, with offering help with daily tasks, you can be like, maybe I'm going to help you to wash the utensils, I'm going to help you to do your laundry. Can I take out your trash or your rubbish? Or do you need anything? I'm going for grocery shopping. Can I'm going for grocery shopping? Can I buy for you anything? I'm going to the market. Can I get you anything? Do you need anything? It's very important for you to make them know that you are available, that you are there and available for them. But it's also important for you to be patient with them. Do not judge them. Do not be so harsh on them because they are also going through a process that they do not understand. So it's very important for you to be very, very patient when it comes to them. Then it's also important for you to stay in touch by staying in touch. I mean, I don't mean that you just it's very important for you to maybe if it's important for you if you can you can video call or you can even just visit them from time to time so that they can know that you are available, that you are there for them in that particular point in their lives. Then there are some things that shouldn't be done when it comes to person depression. The first one is don't tell them. This person will tell you that, you know what, today you had made maybe a plan or a program for weeks, and this particular day reaches, this particular person tells you, you know what, I will not be able to make it, or I'm not going to come, or I'm just not in the mood of doing anything. At this particular point, you shouldn't take things personally. You should understand them that maybe they are going through a stage that they also don't understand. So don't take things personally. Maybe you can be like, we can schedule it for another day, or we can maybe do this particular activity on maybe the next weekend, or you can be like, okay, let me come and we spend the day together, so that they don't feel so lonely and so down and so sad. Another thing you shouldn't do is don't try to fix things. Depression is not something that is fixable. It's an illness that needs treatment, not fixing. Depression does not mean that you're broken, it means that you are sick and you are going through a particular illness, and so you need help. By help, I mean psychotherapy. You need to go to a very qualified person to help you with this. But for you coming around and telling me all these positive things, or telling me this and this, maybe you should do this and this, or you should do this, or maybe have you done this? yes, it's okay. It might come from a very positive mind or a very positive heart, but to a depressed person, they feel like when you tell them such kinds of things, they'll feel like, um, I've done this. Why is this person keep? Why do they keep telling me to do this and this and this? I've already done it. Maybe something you can do. You can ask them questions like, how are you feeling with how are you feeling at this point, and what have you done to make sure that you feel better at this particular point. Now they can be open to you and they can tell you that maybe I've tried exercising, or maybe I've tried writing down my thoughts, and then you can tell them how do you feel about it. But this is you being concerned, and this is you trying to know about their stages in life. This is not you trying to fix what they are going through. Because depression, at the end of the day, it's an illness. It's not something that can be, it's not something that is broken, that can be easily fixed. It's also important for you not to give advice to this particular person because they are suffering, they are going through something that they don't understand. You coming to me and telling me that you should be positive, or you should snap out of it, you are strong enough maybe, or you are man enough, you can do this, or um just snap out of it. But how can you even snap out of something that doesn't even listen to maybe the drums of heavens? How do you snap out of something like that? It's very hard for them to reach this point, and for you coming out, and yes, it might come from a very good point or a very satisfied heart or a very kind heart, but you coming out and talking this and this and this to this person, it doesn't make them feel better at that particular point. Yes, you might tell them that yes, you should be positive from now and then, you should be feel positive, but they are even trying very hard. It's very hard for them to keep being positive. It's very hard for them to be their normal selves as people struggling with depression. Don't compare your experience with theirs or any person's experience with theirs, because they are already facing something that is hard for them, and my experience might not basically be the same as your experience. What I'm going through might not necessarily be what you are going through, or what someone else has gone through. So don't compare the stage they are in with anything else. Just be understanding, be present in their struggle to fight depression, just be available for them. Yes, that's for someone who is taking care, or someone who is concerned with a friend, partner, family member that is going through depression. Now, how do you deal with depression, or as a person, what can you do to make sure that you don't reach that point of reaching so depressed or of reaching down, or as a person who is struggling with depression and you are at the healing stage, what things can you do to make sure that you feel better about yourself, or that you that make you feel back to your normal selves? The first thing is self-care and self-love. Meet yourself at the point where you are in your story. If you are feeling sad, it's okay. Feel sad. It's okay. And you have all the power within you to change this particular point, with this particular thing that you are facing, before it reaches a stage that is too much, or before it reaches a stage that you cannot handle. Self-care and self-love are very important for every single person. And I just want to upload Topowa Youth Mentor in Uganda, because we go out in different schools and we create awareness about the these soft skills, for example, stress management, self love, self awareness. And for these young people, it's very important for you to adopt such soft skills at a very, very young stage. So, all the school tours that Topowa Youth Mentoring Program has, they develop the stages within these young people are going through, maybe when they are suffering from depression, or maybe they are struggling with things that they cannot do. These soft skills help them become better people, and they help them address particular problems that they might be facing in their lives, or that they would face um, ahead of their lives. Then it's very important for you to avoid suppressing feelings. If you want to cry, you can cry. As I said earlier, having these bad feelings does not make you a bad person. Having these feelings come so that they should be felt. And there is no way that they are making you a very bad person. So it's very important for you not to suppress these particular feelings, but to feel them. Do not run away from them. Do not hide from them. Do not mask them through alcohol and drugs and substance abuse. Do not mask them through maybe gambling, maybe smoking, maybe unsafe or unprotective sex. Do not mask them through daily routine. Do not mask them through eating, because people hide these feelings through eating a lot or sleeping a lot. These feelings are there to be felt, so you should feel them and embrace them as they come. Then you should adopt positivity. Remind yourself tomorrow will become a better day. There will be sunshine tomorrow. So it's very important for you to adopt positivity. By positivity, I mean that in case you are faced with a challenge or a sad a sad moment in your life, you can always remind yourself that tomorrow will be better. This is not the end of the world. I can feel better. This can help you to suppress all the negativity that can come up, or to even close that option of depression that comes into your mind. So it's very important for you to adopt positivity. Adopting positivity doesn't even take a lot, but just knowing that each day maybe I should appreciate something that is happening in my life. Maybe I should thank the Lord for giving me food, for enabling me to walk, for enabling me to see a new day, for enabling me to be just available for someone. So it's very important for us to always adopt positivity within ourselves, because it helps us fight these stages of depression, or it helps us prevent depression from going into a very further and irritating stage. Then it's very important for us to set small goals and celebrate them when they are achieved. By setting small goals, maybe you might want to build a house. You can maybe start by celebrating the fact that you got bricks to build, the fact that you even bought land to build that house. So you set small goals. Do not put yourself into a very large, I'm supposed to meet that, and the fact that I don't have money right now to meet it is going to affect me. No, set small goals and celebrate them at each particular point in life that you reach them. Then it's very important for you to do things you enjoy more often. However much you might feel sad, you remember that at the end of the day, the battle is between you and depression, and not you and the things you enjoy. So it's very important for you to go out. If you love swimming, you go out and swim. If you love um, maybe dancing, you go out and dance. If you love hanging out with people, if you love meeting new friends, do this more often so that you don't get into the stage of now I'm alone. How can I do this and this and this? Then it's important for you to try out new things like volunteering, or helping out, or maybe going to a baby's home and just spending the day there. So these things create happiness. If they make someone very, very happy and they make someone feel satisfied as a human being. You can do yoga, you can try teaching maybe young children who are in pre-class, primary, or you can just do or try out something new, and this can help you feel better as a person. Then you should also exercise, and exercise helps you balance the hormones that you have in your brain, or the neurotransmitters that you have. So just running through your compound maybe for 30 minutes, or having a walk, evening walk with someone, and these things help you become healthy, not only on your body but even the inside of your body. Pretending that you are not sad is a very horrible thing, and it can make you feel so bad, and it can be very, very draining. Should understand that healing comes in waves, and if you have not healed today, it doesn't mean you won't heal tomorrow. Yes, and talking openly isn't seeking attention. Talking openly isn't seeking attention. It means that you are seeking help, and give yourself time to heal. Do not force yourself into healing. Do not force yourself into becoming better, or do not just force yourself into, suppress yourself that I'm supposed to be fine by this particular period of time. Now give yourself time to heal, and give yourself, be present for yourself. Yes, as I conclude, I need to emphasize that depression is an illness, and it needs to be given 100% attention, just like the attention you give any other kind of illness. So if you need to go to that doctor, if you are feeling sad and you need to talk to someone, talk to someone so that you don't reach that point of, cannot it cannot be reversed. So you should always open up to people and reach out to people, talk to people at any point in your life that you feel sad, that you feel lonely, that you feel like you cannot do this anymore. Reach out. At Topowa Youth Mentoring Uganda, we are saying that yes, we are here for you. A number is going to be shared that are facing these particular issues. And as human beings, or people, or partners, or whatever you might be, it's very important for us to be present in the lives of our loved ones. By present, I mean know what is going through the lives of someone that you love, or know what is going through in the lives of some of a family member, or just be present for them and wish them good, because someone can post a happy picture that maybe they killed themselves, or they took a lot of drugs for themselves, so be present and reach out to your friends, reach out to your loved ones, check on them. By checking on them, I don't mean through text messages. Text messages can be very, someone cannot really be true, but with an audio call, I can understand the tone of your voice. I can understand that maybe something is not going on well. With a video call, with a visit, just a visit to come and check on you. And through this COVID-19 times, or this lockdown period, it's very important for us to check our mental health as human beings, because you might reach a point and you just don't even know how it started. But it's very important for us to always check, check, check our mental health. Stop if you need to stop doing something, stop and just breathe and relax and just put yourself back in order. It's very, very important. I just want to thank everyone who is listening in. I just want to thank Topowa Youth Mentoring Uganda for always organizing such talks, because it's through such talks that we come out and people, this barrier against mental health, or this barrier against this stigma against mental health, is broken. So I want to thank Topowa Youth Mentoring Uganda so much for always organizing this. And yes, please, let's always reach out, be present, and be safe. Thank you so much, Topowa Youth Mentoring Uganda. This is it from me. Sula, do we have any questions?
Thank you so much, Carol. It's been a wonderful session. I've been following myself. And I'd like to thank the people who've been following us here on social media. It was a very in-depth discussion, and we thank you for always taking part. We hope that we do these things so we can come out and help those that might need this information. So Carol, thank you so much, and we are always grateful. So I will start with, I think there are about only two, three questions. The rest you answered them as you were going on. So one person called Talemwa Johnson Prosper on Facebook was asking, can depression be cured with medical treatment? Over to you, Carol.
Thank you, Sula. Talemwa, depression, as I said, as I discussed earlier, it's very important for you to first go to a doctor for them to diagnose you with depression. As
Carol, are you able to hear us? Oh, I hope. She must be having issues with her network over there. Oh, okay. Thank you, Carol, so much for the wonderful words. We lost her. I think it's something to do with her network. We thank you so much for following us and being live with us here on Facebook. Mental health is something that we are passionate about. As Topowa Youth Mentoring Uganda, this is something we are very passionate about. And we have a lot more we want to be unveiling in respect to mental health, in respect to substance abuse. There's a package we are working on, and if all goes according to plan, we shall be launching it with you here on Facebook and on our other platforms. Please keep safe. Carol is coming back to join us. She must have had issues with her network. She's joining in, I can see now. So Carol, are you there now? Can you hear us?
yes, Sula, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry about the network problem. You are still answering the question.
Yes, I was saying that, as I had explained earlier, it's very, very important for us to understand that depression is an illness, and if you are not diagnosed with depression, you cannot just go to maybe to a pharmacy and get tablets for depression. You need to first go to the health center for them to first diagnose you with depression. You need to first go to a doctor for them to know the amount of hormones that are maybe missing, so they can give you the particular antidepressant or the medicine that you might need, because the medicine that works for me might not work for you. Sometimes these two need to go hand in hand for you to become better. And it should also be understood that depression, it might be hard to cure depression, but it's very, after the psychotherapy and the medication, you can live your life as you are supposed to live it. You might live healthily, but still be suffering from depression. Yes, thank you so much, Bella.
Thank you so much, Carol. Once again, I would like to thank you in particular for the in-depth discussion of this topic. I'm sure when we were chatting before we had it, I wasn't of any doubt that you would exhaust the topic as you have done. Thank you so much. I'm sure someone has been following out there and you have been helped. Please share this video with your friends. Someone might be needing help out there. Please share the video with them. I don't know if the people who are with us here on Zoom, if they have any questions. I see Benjamin Sechanzitendo, I see Anisha Sale Nakuya. If you have any question, please unmute and ask the question. If you do not, then we shall proceed to close the session until the next one that we'll have organized. Anyone? You can unmute yourself and ask the question. Oh, since there's nobody who is unmuting, I want to think that they are all okay. So Carol, thank you so much for the session. Until the next one, would like once again to just share the number in case you have a problem, you would like to speak to one of us. Please text 0782 180 185. The number to text is 0782 180 185. Send a WhatsApp text and someone will get back to you and you will talk about whatever you'll be going through. You can also reach us through these platforms directly, or you can call us on our numbers that are available on our pages. Thank you so much for always being part of these Zoom chats. We do this to help someone out there who needs this help. So from Carol Kyolaba, who has been the moderator of the session, to everyone that's been following, thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Keep safe. COVID is real. Mask up, social distance. And when you feel ill, please go take the test or go find medication from health professionals. Thank you so much. God bless you. Until next time, with love from Topowa Youth Mentoring.